I'm Jeff Smith, editor of Traverse Magazine and MyNorth.com, and we are out here to do today one of my favorite all-time things in winter, which is build a QUINZHEE, which is kind of like an igloo if you think of it that way, but instead of building it with blocks of snow and ice, we just pile up a bunch of snow and smash it down, let it harden up, and then carve it out, almost like carving out the inside of a snowball. Think of it that way. We have a couple friends here helping out. We have Chris Mills and his son Dan Mills, good pals from long ago, and we got a beautiful winter day. We got some fresh snow. It's about, I don't know, 10 or 15 degrees, and just a perfect day for building a QUINZHEE in northern Michigan.
One of the first things you want to do is pick a location. And primarily what you want to find is, kind of know your directions at first. Kind of know where west is, because in Michigan, prevailing winds is mostly from the west. So, if you can pick it behind some kind of hill or something like that that can block the wind, that's good. While you're building it, I usually find a nice, pretty spot too. And the second thing you want to do is pick the size, the diameter of the circle that you're going to build the QUINZHEE on. And kind of depending on how many people you're going to sleep in it, you want to size that accordingly.
So Dan, are we going to be digging clear down to the ground, or are we worried about how deep the snow is here?
You do want to leave where you're sleeping, about maybe a foot up, so that all the cool air that kind of pools out the door. So we're not going to go all the way down to the ground here, but around it, we'll just take all the snow.
We'll be piling snow for another 10 minutes or so, but even this much snow just took maybe 10 or 15 minutes. So it goes faster than it looks, but as you can see, I'm out of breath right now, and it takes a little bit of work. And the thing about QUINZHEE is, while it is a really dynamite snow shelter for survival or winter camping, because it's way, way warmer than a tent, it's also a great thing to just build for your kids out in the backyard. It's like instant fort, and as you know, every kid loves a fort. Okay, so it's been about a half an hour. We got a pile of snow here. It's about head high, and we're gonna let it set now. And what we've done is we've broken up the snow structure, the crystal structure of the snow as it was sitting on the ground. We've reformed it in this mound, we've smashed it down, and over the next hour or so, it recrystallizes, even in that short amount of time. It's called a process called sintering, and so a whole new crystal structure forms inside that mound, and that's what's going to give it the strength it needs, so when we carve out the inside, make that big open cavity, the walls are strong enough to withstand that structural force. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a break now, get some hot cocoa. Okay, so we went up to the woods, got a bunch of sticks, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a bunch of broken sticks that are about that long, about a foot, 8 to 12 inches, not really that important, and we'll stick them into the mound. They'll kind of be in like that, covered with the snow, and as we dig out, when we bump up against that inner tip, we'll know that that's the wall thickness that we want. We don't want to dig any further.
You don't want a big entrance. You want a fairly small entrance, something that you can squeeze through, but something that's like, you don't get stuck going into. And another thing that you want to make sure to do is, while you're hollowing out the QUINZHEE, you want to do it in as evenly as possible. Don't dig straight out to the sides first, because then you're going to have a lot of snow over top of you, and it's actually kind of dangerous. You don't want to get buried under that much snow. Something that you want to keep in mind when you're constructing a QUINZHEE is the fact that you want cold air to pool out of the shelter, and so one way to do that really effectively is to kind of build a platform into while you're clearing out the snow, to build a cavity, kind of build a platform into it, and so you're a little bit elevated than above ground level. That way, you know, like I said, cold air kind of pools out the doorway, and you keep, you know, a little bit warmer. So. So it's been about 3 hours since we first came out here and picked out a spot, and now when we are actually completely done, other than, you know, just getting our stuff in there and getting ready for bed. But yeah, it's a pretty easy process to go through, you know, and it's really fun.
And for people who are really thinking about sleeping out, it's way better than a tent. Really can't emphasize that enough. A tent, you just got that thin little nylon wall. This thing, you got good, we got a good one, almost a foot of snow insulation. Snow is a great insulator. You get 3 guys in there, and it just warms up probably, you know, above freezing, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, well.
Yeah, yep. So, and we'll put a tarp over the door at night to hold that heat in. We'll, you know, we'll have a few air holes in there to get a little air exchange going, but otherwise we're ready to have a nice, comfortable night out.